Hello everyone, I am Dr. A. Nagalakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of BCom Finance, Dr. S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science, Autonomous, Coimbatore 49. I am here to make a clear explanation for a case study. The case study is about admission of a partner. We are going to see a problem in admission of a partner. X and Y were partners, sharing profits in the ratio 5:4 respectively. On 1st April 2012, they admitted Z as a new partner. All the partners agreeing to share the future profits equally. On the date of admission of the new partner, there was a goodwill account in the old firm's ledger showing a balance of 18,000. The current value of the firm's goodwill was placed at rupees 36,000. Z paid rupees 50,000 by way of his capital. He also paid an appropriate amount of his share of goodwill. X and Y wrote off the goodwill account before Z's admission. First, we should be clear about the valuation of goodwill. Goodwill is nothing but a consideration which is brought in by the new partner for the old partners for their sacrifice in the future profit after the admission of a new partner. For the sacrifice made by the old partners, the goodwill is paid as a consideration by the new partner. In what ratio they will share the goodwill means the old partners will share the goodwill on the basis of the sacrifice they made. That is in the sacrificing ratio. First, we should understand the problem clearly. The problem is X and Y, two partners sharing their profits in 5:4 ratio. On 1st April 2012, a new partner enters into the firm. Then, as per the partnership deed, all the partners will share the future profits equally. On the date of admission, the goodwill of the old firm, that is before the admission, the goodwill's value is 18,000. Now, after admission, the goodwill is valued by the partners. The value of the goodwill was 36,000. Z is bringing 50,000 as his share of capital, and he also brings goodwill to his share, and they are telling that X and Y writes off the old goodwill that appears in the ledger of the old firm before Z's admission. Now we are going to see the working notes before going for the journal entries. Z's share of goodwill, that is when at the time of admission the current goodwill is valued at 36,000 rupees. Now we are going to see what is the share of Z, that is the share of new partner, that is the amount which is to be brought in by the Z. That see 1:1:1, that is future profit will be shared by all the partners in equal ratio. So the equal ratio will be 1:1:1. 1:1:1 means 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 1 by 3. X 1 by 3, Y 1 by 3, Z 1 by 3. So Z's share will be 36,000 into 1 by 3, that is 12,000. So 12,000 is the amount which is to be brought in by Z as goodwill for the sacrifice made by the old partners. Old profit during the ratio between X and Y. 5:4. That is, before Z's admission, X and Y were sharing the profits in the ratio 5:4. That is 5 by 9 and 4 by 9 respectively. New profit sharing ratio among X, Y and Z. As we know, they will be sharing equally. That is 1:1:1. That is 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 1 by 3. Now we are going to calculate the sacrificing ratio, where this is the case 2 as per new profit sharing ratio. That is, case 2 means in a problem new ratio and old ratio is given, means we have to apply the formula of sacrificing ratio. That is old ratio minus new ratio. As we know, old ratio is 5:4, new ratio is 1:1:1. Now we are going to calculate the sacrifice made by the old partners for the new partner. Now for X, 5 by 9 is the old ratio minus 1 by 3 is the new ratio. Now we have to take the common denominator, the common factor as 9. 9 in 9, 1 times 1 into 5, 5 minus 9 in 3, 3 times 3 into 1, 3. So 5 minus 3, 2 by 9 is the sacrifice made by X. The similar calculation is to be made for Y. 4 by 9 is the old ratio of Y minus 1 by 3 is the new ratio. Again we are taking 9 as a common factor. 9 in 9, 1 times 1 into 4, 4 minus 9 in 3, 3 times 3 into 1, 3. 4 minus 3 by 9, that is 1 by 9. Now we got the sacrificing ratio of X and Y as 2:1. That is 2 by 9, 1 by 9. 2:1. So here X, now we are going to make the, that is we are going to work out the journal entry. First journal entry is writing off the old goodwill which is valued before Z's admission. That is the old partner's responsibility to write off. So the journal entry is, that is, here the old partner's share of goodwill will be calculated in the old ratio and it is debited from their account and it is credited to goodwill account. Okay, so 2012 April 1st, X capital account debtor, Y's capital account debtor to goodwill's account. So X capital account debtor 10,000, Y's capital account debtor 8,000, to goodwill account 18,000. This distribution is made on the basis of the old ratio. That is 18,000 into 5 by 4 for X, 18,000 into 4 by 5 by 9. That is, when they make the calculation, they are debiting 10,000 from X capital account. The calculation is 18,000 into 5 by 9. 5:4 ratio, old ratio. 5 by 9. Likewise for Y, it is 18,000 into 4 by 9. So 10,000 is to be debited from X capital account and 8,000 is to be debited from Y's capital account, and it is credited to goodwill account. This entry is for writing off the old goodwill. First, that journal entry is to be passed. The second journal entry is the amount which is brought as a capital by the new partner, and the amount which is brought in as the share of goodwill. So the new partner Z is bringing in to the business 50,000 rupees as capital and 12,000 rupees as goodwill. See, we have made that calculation as first in the working notes. 36,000 is the new goodwill. In that 1/3 is the share of the new partner. When it is calculated, he is supposed to bring 12,000 as capital. Goodwill. So bank account debt are 62,000 to Z's capital account. The 63,000 means 50,000 as capital and 12,000 as goodwill. So payment of the narration, payment by Z of rupees 50,000 as capital and of rupees 12,000 for his 1/3 share of the total goodwill of rupees 36,000. Now the last journal entry is the amount brought in by the new partner as goodwill has to be shared among the old partners in sacrificing ratio. The sacrificing ratio is 2:1. Here we found out by using the formula sacrificing ratio is equal to old ratio minus new ratio. So the sacrificing ratio of X and Y is 2:1. So here Z's capital account is to be debited with 12,000 rupees, and that 12,000 rupees is to be shared among the old partners, and that will be credited to the old partners capital account in what ratio? Sacrificing ratio. 12,000 for X, that is the amount which is to be credited to X capital account is 12,000 into 2/3. The amount to be credited to Y's capital account is 12,000 into 1/3. When we make that calculation, here we are getting 8,000 rupees to be credited to X capital account, because the sacrifice made by X is more when compared to the sacrifice made by Y. So the Y is getting 4,000 rupees as consideration for his sacrifice. The narration is adjustment for Z's share of goodwill. Thank you. Thank you for the patient listening. This is the case study. Thank you.